important is it? And is it actually valuable us spending our time going through this data, for example?
Okay, so to answer your first question, I think it's well, I don't know. I don't want to overstate how important it is, but I really think it's very, very important for two reasons. If you look at the area that we're interested in, nature and conservation, it is quite striking how little we still know about our natural environment and how it's changing. Even though, I mean, I've been saying that we have a rich history, particularly in this country, of amateur naturalists collecting data, and that's resulted in a whole bunch of massive amounts of data. A lot of it's been added to the wider database now, so it's readily accessible. Even though we have that, it hasn't been collected in a very systematic way, so it doesn't really make it very easy, or perhaps sometimes it makes it impossible to actually understand how things have changed over time. Yeah. So you need to have a more sort of structured citizen science approach in order to understand those things, and it's something that we need to understand with the world changing so rapidly. The other aspect of it, of course, is just getting people involved in science and making people more, or people becoming more scientifically aware and thinking about things in a scientific way. So being able to critically evaluate information that's being presented to them, which is a hugely important thing as well. When there's so much information available, and there's problems with things like fake news and that kind of thing, which having massive impacts on what's happening to the world. So that sort of things is equally important.
Okay. So I think now we should go back to some of the rockpool species.
Sure.
And I'm going to try and catch the fish, which is a species blenny.
Okay.
So this blenny was actually found out of the water under a rock. Is that an issue? Can the fish survive outside of the water?
Yeah, so I'm guessing the species that you found of blenny is a shanny.
Yeah.
And they are incredible fish when it comes to surviving out of the water. They can certainly survive for a couple of hours, maybe even more. And they quite commonly live quite high up the shore. And you know, I was just chatting a bit earlier about the tides coming in and out. Any species that lives high up the shore is actually going to be spending more time out of the water than they are in the water. And that can be the case for these shannies. They certainly come up to about mid-tidal level where you'll find them. But they are well adapted to surviving outside of the water. They love hiding in moist crevices around their local environment. And they have no scales, unlike most fish. They have smooth skin, and as long as that smooth skin is kept wet, then they can actually breathe a lot through their skin, and that will help keep them oxygenated. So they're very well adapted. So it's no problem for it to be out of the water.
Okay, I'll try and grab it so that people can see what it actually is, what we're actually talking about. So it's just hiding under the vertebra. Okay, so here we go.
A little bit higher, mate. Oh, there we go.
So it's now on my laptop. So I'm going to...
You're able to, are we on your laptop, is it? Does that make it difficult to film? Oh, there he is. Okay.
That's it. Okay, so that is a shanny, is it?
I assume so. He's quite pale, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
It must be a shanny. They do vary a fair bit in coloration.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely a shanny.
Yeah. So this was found outside of a rock pool, underneath a rock. So you say that's not really an issue, is it?
But it's normal. When the tide's out, you'll quite often find them outside of the water. Some of the other species of fish in the intertidal you can also find outside of the water underneath rocks. Things like the Cornish suckerfish, and then also you've got the pipefish, worm pipefish. They're very regularly you'll find them in no water at all. Well, I mean there'll be a moist environment, so there will be water about, but they won't actually be swimming around in a rock pool.
All right. Well, that's good. I'm just trying to see. We do actually have a velvet swimmer, which I can try picking up without getting nipped. If that works.
This should be interesting.
So it doesn't normally work. This one's no, this one's swimming around a lot.
Hence the name, I suppose.
Yeah. What I can do though is I can bring the camera around to the.
That might be safer for you anyway.
So under there we've got the velvet swimmer.
Okay, so is that I can see the shore crab above it, yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully you can see that all right.
Yeah. Well, reasonably.
Yeah. Cool. So that's what we were talking about earlier, wasn't it? And just having a little bit of a go at each other.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh, they've separated. That's all right. I would, try and separate them a bit because they can give each other a bit of trouble.
So you'll see, it's quite feisty. And that's how they get their other name, isn't it? The devil crab.
Yeah, so you can't see them very well at the moment, but they have bright red eyes. So that's one reason why they're called devil crab. Kids love to call them a devil crab, but the main reason I think is because they love to attack you whenever you're trying to pick them up. They are my favourite species of crab. In fact, Will, I'll get people your picture to show them.
Yeah.
So, wait a sec.
Cool. So we're just waiting upon Ben to grab a little something. But we have just been talking about a few species that I found earlier. Okay,
so here's a picture of the velvet swimming crab. I think you can see it reasonably well there. That's it, trying to get the reflection off. You can maybe see the red eyes. So this was sent to me by my favourite intern on the whole project, William here, as a little present. So thank you very much for that, Will.
Yeah.
Actually, whilst you're here, I don't know. I wanted to ask you. You see this bit on the back? That obviously looks like a stand and a hook.
Yeah, that is a stand.
Have you used this? Have you seen one of these before, or is it completely new to you as well?
I've used it before, yeah.
It feels like I really have to force it to bend it. Is that right? That's okay. I'll do that. I didn't want to break it, you see.
No, you won't break it.
Yeah. Anyway, so here's a velvet swimming crab. The reason why Will send me a picture of one of these is because they are my favourite species of crab because they're so much fun to try and catch, and it's even more fun trying to watch Will catch one. And you might be able to see on the back there, its back leg. We talked about the back leg on the shore crab earlier, much more flattened, so its back legs act like flippers. And you probably saw as Will was trying to catch it there, it was just shot off to the side very quickly. So it can swim. They swim from side to side, just the same as crabs walk from side to side, walk sideways. Yeah. So you got a good picture there. We saw the red eyes on your one there.
Cool. Well, thank you for your time, Ben.
No problem at all.
I'm probably going to end this video sooner rather than later because the crabs are fighting a bit now.
Okay.
So should be getting them back to the sea soon. But thank you for your time.
No problem.
Thank you for giving us a bit of an insight into citizen science. And
it was a pleasure.
Well,
And yeah, just to remind everyone that if you want to get involved in the Rockpool project, go to our website or check us out on Facebook or Twitter or of course Instagram.
Perfect.
All right.
Thanks, Ben.
Cheers, and we'll take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.